Good afternoon. I'd like to convene the Utilities and Commerce Committee. Mr. Dowley will not be present today. I know the sergeants are calling the absent members. We're going to hear 5 Senate bills today. SB 18 and SCR 48 will be taken up as consent items. I understand that the Senate is still in session, so we don't have any authors, but let's take the roll, and then we'll take up the consent items.
Rendon?
Here.
Rendon here. Patterson?
Here.
Here. Ashajian?
Here.
Here. Bonilla? Burke? Eggman? Christina Garcia?
Here.
Hadley?
Here.
Hadley here. Hernandez? Obernolte?
Here.
Obernolte here. Quirk?
Here.
Quirk here. Santiago? Ting?
Here.
Ting here. Williams?
Here.
Williams here.
Burke is here. And Burke.
Burke. Thank you.
Ms. Burke and Ms. Garcia are here.
9 are present. We do have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Let's, again, we have 2 bills on consent. On the consent calendar, we have SB 18 and SCR 48. Is there a...
Second.
Mr. Chajian makes a motion. Ms. Garcia seconds. We're now voting on the consent calendar.
The motion is due pass on unanimous consent. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Patterson?
Aye.
Patterson, aye. Ashajian?
Aye.
Ashajian, aye. Bonilla? Burke?
Aye.
Burke, aye. Eggman? Christina Garcia?
Aye.
Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Hernandez? Obernolte?
Aye.
Obernolte, aye. Quirk?
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Santiago? Ting?
Aye.
Ting, aye. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. 10.
Consent calendar is out. Good afternoon. First up on this afternoon's agenda is SB 631 by Mr. Wesso regarding Public Utility Commission fees.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good
Thank you.
afternoon, Assembly members, committee members. The costs of processing this application are not well reflected in the $75 fee that currently exists. This legislation is needed to adjust the fee. This bill will be a simple change to the statute to better reflect the current reasonable cost of processing the CPCN application while allowing for continued adjustments reflected to keep pace with the pace of with the cost of inflation, or to keep pace with inflation. And I ask for your support for this
Move the bill.
bill.
A motion for Mr. Quirk and a second for Mr. Ting.
Mr. Chairman and Member Nick Zanjani with the California Public Utilities Commission strong support of the bill.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in support of this bill? Okay. Is there anyone in opposition to this bill? Questions from committee members? No questions? Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your support. Thank you.
Great. We have a motion from Mr. Quirk and a second from Mr. Ting, I believe. Please call the roll.
The motion is to pass and re-refer to appropriations. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Patterson? Patterson, aye. Eshajian?
Aye.
Eshajian, aye. Bonilla? Burke? Burke, aye. Eggman? Eggman, aye. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Hernandez? Obernolte?
Aye.
Obernolte, aye. Quirk?
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Santiago?
Aye.
Santiago, aye. Ting?
Aye.
Ting, aye. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye.
Thank you. Thank you, members.
That bill is out. Bonilla, aye.
And it's 13-0.
Couldn't make it 470. They had to round up, had to round high. They would kick in the flag. The more they do, the more likely it's going to affect rates.
Okay, thank you.
Normally, I'd be supportive of something like that. Some of the language they put in
Pro tem speak.
You know, really almost changed my mind was when they showed that album.
We're back on. Next up is Ms. Wolf presenting SB 793 regarding Green Tariff Shared Renewables Program.
Move the bill.
Thank you. Ms. Wolf?
Mr. Chair and members, thank you. I will begin by accepting the amendments, the suggested amendment, committee amendment, page 3, under comment 5, as an author's amendment. The bill requires the CPUC to allow customers in a green tariff shared renewables program to enter into long-term subscriptions and receive a reasonably estimated bill credit and bill charge for a period of up to 20 years. The PUC rules prevent customers from subscribing to the utilities program for more than a year, and that was a limitation that was not required nor contemplated in the bill which I authored, which in fact authorized up to 600 megawatts of off-site renewable energy projects. So this would provide important direction to the PUC, and it will make it more likely that the program will work and actually happen. So with me today is Susanna Churchill from Vote Solar, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and committee members. I'm Susanna Churchill. I'm West Coast Regional Director with Vote Solar, a nonprofit solar advocacy organization, and we were proud to work with Senator Wolk a couple years ago in favor of SB 43, which created a shared solar program for the state. And shared solar represents a huge step forward for the state because it expands the availability of renewable energy to more Californians, including renters and those who don't have suitable roof space for solar. SB 793, as Senator Wolk said, addresses a problem with the current IOU shared renewables programs that were recently approved by the PUC. Most of the participating customers' bill credits and charges in those programs can fluctuate year to year. Right now, of the 10 categories of credits and charges that apply to participating customers, only one is fixed for more than a year. And so SB 793 would address that problem by requiring the utilities to give participating customers a reasonable estimate of what their bill credits and charges are going to be over the long term, which creates greater long-term pricing certainty for those customers and creates more successful programs. So we urge your aye vote of SB 793. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Matt Klopfenstein with the California Solar Energy Industry Association, and we are very supportive of the bill and thank the senator for bringing this very slight tweak to the program that will make a really big difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, Nick Zanjani with the Public Utilities Commission. Once again, we had a little bit of heartburn initially on the predictability language when it was changed to reasonably estimated. We thought it was a great bill. With the committee amendments today, we think it's crystal clear, so we urge your support.
Thank you. Others in support of the bill? I guess we'll use that mic over there.
Hi, Gareth Elliott with the Solar Energy Industries Association in support.
Thank you.
Erin Niemela representing the Large Scale Solar Association. We're also in support and would like to continue to work with the author on changing the service area to include all IOU service area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ignacio Hernandez on behalf of the Utility Reform Network, TURN. We had an opposed unless amended position with the amendments taken today by the author. We have removed our opposition and now in support of the bill. So I want to thank the committee and the author for her efforts.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this bill? Seeing no one. Questions or comments from committee members? Mr. Obernolte?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, so does this program currently still sunset at the end of 2019?
I believe so, yes.
So I was curious what happens when a customer enters into a 20-year agreement, should the program sunset as scheduled?
I think there won't be any new customers.
But would those customers continue to enjoy
It's a contract. I mean...
Yeah, that's true. So the
Just go
PUC's...
on until they're finished.
That's exactly right. The PUC's implementation of the program said customers who participate and joined before 2019 would be allowed to remain as long as they want, but no new customers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
They said one no. That's all they gave.
Okay, thank you. Other questions from committee members or comments? Great. Check to close, Ms. Wolf.
Just ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. There's a motion. Great. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion in a second?
Yes, Hernandez.
Thank Okay, we have a motion which is due pass as amended for Mr. Hernandez and a second for Mr. Quirk. Please take the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended and re-refer to Appropriations Committee. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Patterson?
Aye.
Patterson, aye. Ashajian? Bonilla?
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Burke?
Aye.
Burke, aye. Eggman?
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Garcia?
Aye.
Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Hernandez?
Aye.
Hernandez, aye. Obernolte?
Aye.
Obernolte, aye. Quirk?
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Santiago?
Aye.
Santiago, aye. Ting?
Aye.
Ting, aye. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. 13-0.
13-0. That bill is out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you. We have one more bill. We're waiting for Mr. Leno to present SB 502. Mr. Leno is here to present SB 502 regarding the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District purchase and delivery of electricity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and
you.
colleagues, for the warm welcome. I won't keep you long. This bill will allow BART, our Bay Area Rapid Transit System, to reduce its carbon footprint, to be greener in the way that it operates its train system, which is all 100% electrically charged, but they'd like to be able to purchase in a way that current statute does not allow them more renewable energy. The agency currently has to purchase renewable energy from a publicly owned utility, electric utility. This removes any barriers for that procurement from to allow them to purchase from a generation facility directly. PG&E would be fully compensated for its transmission and distribution system, and PG&E's bundled service customers will not be impacted at all, which is why there's no opposition to the bill. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Thank you. My name is Rebecca Saltzman, and I'm the BART director from District 3, representing parts of Alameda and Contra Costa counties. The BART system is a vital regional transit system in the Bay Area, and it provides nearly half of all the transit passenger miles in the region. And BART continues to break ridership records, and in doing so, we're preventing 4.5 million pounds of polluting CO2 from entering the atmosphere. But we want to do more. In support of state and federal environmental goals, the BART board recently voted to work toward the goal of greater reduction of greenhouse gas emissions by increasing the district's use of renewable energy. And existing state law limits the sources from which BART can procure electricity. We have to go through third-party transactions managed by one of the sources of electricity authorized for BART in state law, and this constitutes an unnecessary barrier that the BART district seeks to eliminate. SB 502 would simply authorize BART to procure more renewable energy by contracting directly with eligible renewable electric generation resources, and we believe the legislation would incent renewable energy providers to provide creative options for BART going forward, enable our transit system to further reduce its carbon footprint, and continue to provide cost-effective transportation options for the Bay Area. It would also support state goals to combat climate change under AB 32. We ask for your support of SB 502. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, Tim Schott, representative here in Sacramento for the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District, here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Others in support?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gil Topidi with the California Municipal Utilities Association. We're in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Michael Pimentel with the California Transit Association in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Paul Hernandez with the Center for Sustainable Energy, also in support.
Thank you.
Erin Niemela representing large-scale solar, also in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Gareth Elliott with the Solar Energy Industries Association in support.
Thank you. Is there anyone in opposition to this bill? Great. Questions from... Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm trying to find the explicit language in the bill that sees to it that ratepayers aren't going to be saddled with this. I can't find it exactly, but we think there's some language that might be interpreted that way in what, Section 1, maybe 20C? But I'm trying to get an idea of what the requirement under law would be, as you have stated. Because I can't find it explicitly in the bill.
Thank you, Assemblyman. I will get that answer to you forthwith. But I can assure you that if it were not the case, PG&E would be here today. Yes, Mr. Schott.
Assembly member, I believe it's covered in BART's existing code section PUC 701.8, and what that does is require PG&E to transmit the power to multiple sources for BART and to be compensated pursuant to FERC and PUC tariffs, existing tariffs. So it's all in the same code section, doesn't amend that. This bill applies that code section to this bill.
That's fine with me. Thank you.
Thanks. It is through the tariffs already regulated. Approved by the state and federal regulators.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? I was curious, do we know how many megawatts of renewable energy BART will purchase?
I'd point to the director for that. She's going to have to vote. But I don't think we know at this point.
Yeah, we don't know, but we really want to push towards ultimately 100% renewable. That's our ultimate goal. So a lot.
And what is your typical load that you're using?
Currently, BART gets the majority of their power through the Northern California Power Agency, and the largest chunk of that, more than 50% of BART's power, comes from federal hydroelectric power, not eligible under the RPS standard, but clean energy. And the bill only allows the purchase of RPS eligible power.
And how many megawatts does BART use in a year right now?
I apologize. We'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know the answer.
Just curious. I wanted to make sure the chairman's question got answered in some fashion. So,
fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Patterson?
Are you buying all the hydro that you can? Or will you replace hydro with other renewables? How would that work?
The hydro represents the largest share of renewable that they have right now, but as Mr. Schott mentioned, that's not counted under RPS. The bill will require that the renewable that is afforded by the passage of this bill would be RPS eligible.
So this would be RPS eligible, would not necessarily displace, though, the hydro?
Currently, I believe it's about 55 or 56% of BART's power is that hydro, so you've got a large block of power that still needs to be acquired that is not hydro or RPS eligible.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
So they go after the non-renewable first. Yep.
Mr. Quirk?
I don't think you can go over. Look, electrons are electrons. What you're doing is, right now you're buying from North. Oh, all right, fine. Never mind. I'll just skip on this. But you can't preferentially do anything. You're going to be contracting less from Northern California Power Authority. That means less hydro, less other things. You will be getting more RPS. But electrons are electrons. God knows how they were generated when they arrived at BART.
I concur with the professor. To answer the chair's question, BART uses approximately 390,000 megawatt hours per year. The peak is 80 megawatts, and that's about as much electricity as the city of Alameda.
Thank you. Other questions? Check to close.
On behalf of BART's more than 400,000 daily riders and 120 million trips annually, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. We have a motion from Mr. Hadley and a second from Mr. Ting. Please call the roll.
The motion is due pass and we refer to Appropriations Committee. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Patterson?
Aye.
Patterson, aye. Ashadjian?
Aye.
Ashadjian, aye. Bonilla? Bonilla, aye. Burke? Burke, aye. Eggman? Eggman, aye. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Hadley? Hadley, aye. Hernandez? Hernandez, aye. Obernolte? Obernolte, aye. Quirk?
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Santiago? Santiago, aye. Ting? Ting, aye. Williams? Williams, aye. 14-0.
That bill is out.
I'm coming back again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the hearing of bills. We're going to keep the roll open for about 5 minutes. Yes, for add-ons and vote changes.